Saint Jerome the Royal, in Spanish San Jeronimo el Real, is a Roman Catholic church from the early 16th century in central Madrid, Spain. The church, which has undergone numerous remodelings and restorations over the centuries, is the remaining structure of the Hieronymite monastery that once stood beside the royal palace of Buen Retiro, of which a portion now serves as the Prado Museum. Its proximity to the royal palace also underscores a connection to royalty, serving for centuries as the church used for the investiture of the Prince of Asturias. In addition, a mass to celebrate the investiture of King Juan Carlos I was held here. In part, this link was cemented also because Madrid only completed its Cathedral of the Almudena in 1993. For many centuries, the Church of San Isidro served as a de facto cathedral, but while this church was associated with the patron saint of Madrid, Saint Isidore was also the patron of manual laborers, not royalty, thereby relegating the role of royal chapel to this church. The original Hieronymites monastery, the Monasterio de Santa Maria del Paso, had been built near the Monte de El Pardo, on the banks of the river Manzanares, during the reign of Henry IV of Castile I. However, due to the marshiness of the site, which caused much sickness among the monks, in 1502 Isabella I granted the monks land on which to build a new monastery, which was built in Isabelline Gothic style. The church was chosen for the investiture of the princes of Asturias and future king Philip II on April 18, 1528. When King Philip II moved the Spanish court to Madrid in 1561, he had his retreat enlarged to become the Palacio del Buen Retiro. He established a royal bedroom against the presbytery, such that he could hear mass from his bedroom. The Palacio del Buen Retiro was largely destroyed in the Napoleonic French occupation of Madrid. In 1808 the monks were expelled from the monastery and French troops were quartered in the monastery, causing major damage to the building, and the church was almost left in ruins. The first major restoration was carried out during the reign of Isabel II of Spain, between 1848 and 1859, by the architect Narciso Pascual Colomer I in the Isabelline Gothic style, who added some new elements, such as towers. The second restoration, 1879 to 1883, by Enrique Maria Rapulis, transformed the building into its current role as a parish church. Only a few external features remain of its original structure. The exterior remodeling of the 19th century in a neo-Gothic style by Pontian Ponzano remains controversial. The stairway that faces the street was constructed in 1906 on the occasion of the wedding of King Alfonso XIII to provide more impressive access to the church. For many decades, the Baroque cloister, designed by Lorenzo de San Nicolas, remained in disrepair. Finally, in 2007, an agreement between the church and the government led to the appropriation of the land for the cloister by the Prado Museum. The inner courtyard facade was dismantled, and then rebuilt as a cubic room, designed by Rafael Munio in an expansion of the museum. The wing has been labeled the Cubo de Munio. Popularly known as Los Jeronimos, it was one of the most important convents in Madrid. Next to it was the so-called Cuarto Real, later expanded as the Buen Retiro Palace in the time of Felipe IV. Since 1925 the church is considered a national monument. Its origins go back to the year 1464, when King Enrique IV of Trastamara founded the monastery of Santa Maria del Paso on the banks of the Manzanares River, near El Pardo. Given the unhealthy nature of the area, the monks asked the kings for a transfer to another healthier site. Queen Isabella the Catholic granted them the current location, in 1502, closest to the court, known since then as the Prado de San Jeronimo. The monastery was an emblematic place of the court, scene of the swearing-in ceremonies of the heirs to the crown of Spain as princes of Asturias, from Felipe II, 1528, to Isabel II, 1833, as well as several Spanish courts and ordinations. Episcopalians. The church and a cloister currently remain from the convent, behind the Prado Museum. The church is in the Gothic style. It stands on a Latin cross plan and is made up of a central nave, transept, and 5 chapels on each side. The monumental access staircase of Alarcon Street was built for the wedding of Alfonso XIII and Victoria Eugenia, in 1906. For its part, the cloister suffered progressive deterioration throughout the 19th century and, Following an agreement with the ecclesiastical authorities, it was recovered and incorporated into the Prado Museum as part of the extension designed by the architect Rafael Munio. Due to its current external appearance, the cloister is popularly known as the Cubo de Munio. In 2010, the restoration works of the entire complex were completed, except for the stairs, by the architect Francisco Gerardo, who recovered the previous image of the building.